Imagine this. You're walking through the hills of South India and you stumble across these massive stones. They're arranged in circles, just standing there, silent, for thousands of years. It's an incredible sight, right? And it kicks off a huge mystery. So today, we're going to be detectives, and we are going to investigate this incredible lost world. So our investigation really kicks off with the most basic question of all. Just who were these people? Who had the skill, the vision, and frankly, the organization to move and shape these massive, massive monuments? And then you've got to ask, why? What was the point of all this? These weren't just random rocks plopped down on a hill. They were built for a reason. A powerful reason that gives us a direct window straight into the minds of an ancient people. And finally, what can these stones actually tell us? About how they lived, what they believed in, the world they saw every day. All right, enough questions. Let's dive in and start piecing together the story of the megalithic culture of India. Okay, so our journey begins by putting a name to these mysterious builders. We're talking about a civilization that absolutely thrived during the Iron Age and, as we'll see, completely shaped the future of South Indian history. So what in the world is a megalith? Well, the word itself is a fantastic clue. It comes straight from Greek, mega meaning large, and lithos meaning stone. So, large stone. Simple enough, right? These are cultures that are basically defined by their incredible stone monuments, which, for the most part, were tombs and memorials. And to really get a handle on them, we have to place them in time. This culture flourished for almost 1,000 years, starting around 1200 BCE all the way to 300 BCE. This puts them right at the dawn of the Iron Age in this part of the world. And believe me, this isn't just some dusty ancient history. It's a critical turning point. And get this, they weren't just in one little corner of the map. Their footprint covers this huge expanse of peninsular India, all the way from Maharashtra down to the southern tip. All our evidence, all the clues we're about to look at, they come from key archaeological sites like Brahmagiri and Ajanalur. All right, detective time. Let's dig into our first major clue. The most obvious thing these people left behind are their burial monuments. And wow, do they tell us a lot about what they believed in. Now, what's so cool about this is it's kind of like a field guide for ancient graves. You see all these different types of structures. You've got dolmens, which look like giant stone tables, cists, which are these hidden underground chambers, tall, lonely menhirs, and of course, those iconic stone circles that marked the graves. But here's where it gets really good. The real treasure is what archaeologists found inside these tombs. We're talking iron swords and spears, beautifully made pottery, all sorts of ornaments and beads. And these weren't just random objects. They were chosen very, very carefully. So you gotta ask yourself, why? Why would you bury your dead with their weapons, their best pots, and all their jewelry? The answer is, well, it's powerful. They believed in an afterlife. They believed in a journey where you'd need this stuff. But it was even more than that. This level of care points to a really strong system of ancestor worship, where honoring the dead was crucial for the living community to thrive. Okay, let's move on to our second big clue. And honestly, this one is a total game changer. Iron. This new technology didn't just give them better tools, it completely reforged their entire society from the ground up. And you can just see the chain reaction here, plain as day. First, they forged new, stronger tools, axes, plows. With these tools, they can clear dense forests and farm the land way more effectively. And what does that lead to? Well, a boom in agriculture, new settlements popping up, and a growing population. It all connects. And right in the middle of all this change, they left behind another signature clue. This very specific black and red ware pottery. It's found all across megalithic sites, and for archaeologists, it's like a calling card that helps them identify and accurately date their settlements and graves. All right, on to our third and final clue. If we look a little closer at the graves themselves, we can actually start to piece together the fragments of their social world to really see how their communities were put together. I mean, just look at this comparison. It tells a fascinating story. On the one hand, you've got these really simple graves, maybe with just a few pots inside. But on the other hand, you find these elaborate tombs just packed with iron weapons, valuable ornaments, and tons of rich pottery. And that kind of stark difference, that's no accident. It is crystal clear evidence of a social hierarchy. It paints a picture of a society made up of organized tribal groups, probably led by powerful chiefs or respected warriors who were honored with these incredibly rich burials. So, we've followed the clues, right? We've looked at the burials, the iron tools, the social structure. Now let's bring it all together and figure out the true legacy of these silent stones and what they're really telling us. So you might be asking, okay, this is cool, but why does it really matter? Well, it matters a lot. This culture marks the definitive start of the Iron Age in the South. It's the vital bridge that connects the earlier Stone Age people with the great historic kingdoms that came later. And I'm not exaggerating here. The agricultural boom, the social organization, the new technology, the megalithic people truly literally laid the foundation for the famous Sangam Age that followed, an era known for its incredible literature and booming trade. In the end, this is maybe the most profound thing about them. They left no books, no scrolls, not a single written record of their lives. But they didn't have to. They're stones. They speak volumes. And through these incredible monuments, they speak to us about a deep belief in memory, in honoring their ancestors, and in that universal human hope for life beyond this one. That powerful, silent conversation across millennia, that is their true, enduring legacy. A story not written in ink, but carved in stone for all time. And all this leaves us with one final, fascinating thought. As archaeologists keep exploring these ancient sites, you have to wonder, what other stories, what other secrets are still out there, just waiting to be heard in the silent stones?